not a ton has been happening in my life except
Oh, here we go.
guess what we're getting on Sunday?
Big announcement.
Big announcement.
Meow, 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 meow.
We are adding a new dog to our lives.
Unreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How about that?
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me,
Yeah.
which of course you were.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe I can't say Happy Thanksgiving.
No, but we're keeping all
God
this.
damn it. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. From Oops the Podcast, I'm Julio, joined by Francis. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I mean, we're keeping that because
Happy Thanksgiving.
got ripped apart for fucking jerking off by Romeo, Dr. Romeo over there.
That was a fun episode, man. What an interesting arc.
Yeah, that riled me up.
Good.
I had
Love
to
see
stand
it.
up for myself.
I was really enjoying it.
But he was great. Yeah, what a treat. If you haven't, go back and listen to our episode on Tuesday with Romeo, my college roommate, and troublemaker on Bachelor in Paradise. Such a character.
I know, man. Well, do you have any final thoughts about that?
I wanted to say that the episode we did a couple weeks ago where I talked about him, I kind of take back what I said.
Yeah?
Which, was that I can't believe he's doing this. He's throwing his life away or whatever. I thought it was a major career mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And based on everything he said, it isn't at all. And it sounds like he's doing it for the right reasons, and I was wrong.
Right. And he's having fun, and he's not afraid to admit that like he feels nice to be one of the cool kids, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Good for him,
What a
bro.
cool, I mean, what it has done for him and what it means to him is so interesting. So I hadn't really considered that, and it reveals the, I guess, myopic side of my own vantage point, which I'm embarrassed about.
I do. We're comedians, man. We have to sort of do it. To a
Yeah.
degree,
Yeah, we got to shoot from the hip.
Yeah. Well, speaking of shooting from the hip, we had a big boys' dinner last week.
Oh!
A lot of shooting from the hip going on.
Boy.
Most notably, before we get into more of the details, Ryan just fucking slamming 5 espresso martinis.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
And being up for 48 hours.
I'm meaning to talk to you about that, Ryan. Ryan, we get in there. We go to Fort Charles Prime Rib. If you don't know about it, well, you're probably never going to figure it out. And we're there. We have a marquee table, 7:15 on a Wednesday. The boys just fucking firing on all cylinders. Ryan, dressed to the nines. He's got a black turtleneck on, sweet sport coat, sort of a herringbone checked
He looks
coat,
very good.
looking good.
He looks like an art dealer.
G looked great. He looked wet. As his trademark wetness.
On brand.
Yeah. Chris was looking like a sweet DJ, rapper, producer. And I was somewhere in the middle. We go in there.
Like a sweet DJ. Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
sweet DJ.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Thanks.
Yeah. We go in and we all order our drinks. Now, it's funny to sort of say what everyone ordered for their drinks.
Yeah,
Because we talk about drinking a lot on the pod.
we do.
So you had,
A Negroni.
did you?
Yeah.
I thought you had a mezcal margarita.
You had
Sorry,
Mezcal
I had a
Negroni.
mezcal Negroni.
Mezcal Negroni.
Mezcal Negroni.
Yeah, you had a mezcal Negroni. I had the Japanese old fashioned they have there, which is really a treat. Chris, you had an Allagash white beer,
I
right?
did, yes.
Delicious from Maine.
I only got it because I was with you. I know. I was like, oh, it's Maine.
That's a really
Homage to
drinkable beer.
Franny.
That is a deliciously drinkable beer. And then Ryan had an espresso martini, and I thought to myself, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Little did I know that was the first of, how many did you have?
I think it was 4.
Yeah.
It was only 4.
He ordered rounds of espresso martinis, which
Well done.
is crazy. It's just crazy.
Well, it's funny because you told us at the beginning of the night that you do that, and then your girlfriend gets mad at you because you don't sleep. And he had an early flight the next morning, and he texted us in the middle of the night about how he was not going to be sleeping.
Yeah. So I wasn't.
Can
I
you
was
talk
not,
more into the mic?
Yeah. So I had a 6 a.m. flight to Arizona, and
Oh my
I
God.
just knew what was gonna happen, and I just it was just a result of insanity, thinking that I'd have a different result. So I was enjoying the espresso martinis, and then Francis, you mentioned get a decaf espresso martini, and then I come home just talking a million miles a minute, and I told my girlfriend, I said, Francis said to get like a decaf espresso martini, but I was like, whatever, like it's just they're tiny, like it's just whatever. And then that's why she got mad, because she said that someone told me to cut back on the coffee and the caffeine, and I did not go to sleep. And it was
Did you not sleep a second that night?
Not a second.
Oh my god. Dude.
So 1 o'clock turned into 2 o'clock, and then 3 right after, and then 4 o'clock I was in the Uber on the way to the airport, and I wasn't hungover or anything, but I definitely was just tired, and my heart was just pounding. But I had a great time, and I don't really regret it. So
Yeah.
it
Good
was
for
fun.
you. I'm all for
was
it,
fun.
man. I'm all for it. Good for
Yeah,
you.
no judgment.
Yeah.
No judgment.
I've been dipping into them lately. They've been a lot of fun.
Gotta
They
hit
help
it.
curate a good
It's
evening.
it's amazing that is your drink of choice for the night, though, because I love an espresso martini, especially with our patented Oops Beans from Brooklyn Roasting Company. Don't get me wrong, I love an espresso martini, but I'm a one of those, and then I'm switching to something else kind of guy.
Yeah.
I like them too, but yeah.
Would you drink 4?
No, because I would just get too paranoid of having some sort of like weird coffee alcohol breath or something
Oh,
that like I'm sure isn't a thing, but like that is my thought process. So like I'll have one usually, and then, but yeah, I'm on the Negroni train still.
Did I
Cool.
have coffee,
No,
alcohol?
not
breath next
not
week?
at all.
No.
It's me being weird.
I also did have one as well, so Ryan
Yeah.
wasn't the only one, but just one.
yeah, one's normal. That's good. That's normal behavior.
This was a great dinner and it was just like we were all drinking, eating. It was very International Guys Day-esque. We were giving heartfelt tributes to each other.
Yep.
People were holding each other. I looked over and Chris was just holding Francis.
Yeah, it was really
It
nice.
was very sweet.
We were passing the toast torch.
Yes, we
Yes.
were.
And each person sort of toasted another member of the crew at length, and everybody felt good. I would say
I would agree.
It was a nice thing, and Ryan made a great point, which is, after toast number 2 or 3, he said, "I'm really glad we're doing this," and I thought he meant the dinner, and he goes, "No, these toasts, because guys are so afraid to be effusive about one another, and what with toxic masculinity, but nobody at that table."
Nope.
Nobody about that table was afraid to tell another man, "I love you."
That's what IGD is all about, dude.
Yeah, it really is. Really is.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Dude, you want to hear something funny? So, and bleep the name out, but I was in Michigan this weekend, and I was hanging out with old Brent, and he was like, "Oh, you guys have Fort Charles, huh?" He's like, "How'd you get the reservation?" And I was like, "Oh, it was like a guy from like Francis's golf club." I said the name of the golf club. Brent goes, "Was the guy's name by any chance?"
Oh my God.
He goes, "Yeah, I've used that reservation before."
You're kidding. Who doesn't he know?
He goes, "It's the hottest reservation in town."
Oh my God. Brent.
I was dying, dude.
Wow.
I was dying about that. But yeah, that turned into a big night for me, dude. Like after that, I went to like the party that my like agency was throwing for the New York Comedy Festival. Bumped into Francis's manager, who's fucking busting my balls. I'm like, fuck out of here, dude. Get out of my face, bro. But I like had a big night. Then the next night, I like had another big night. And then I arrived in Michigan Friday morning, and I landed, and I suddenly just like didn't feel 100%. And I was like, God damn it. And like proceeded to like be 60 to 70% max for the entire weekend, which is just like a
tough.
terrible feeling, dude. But like
Tough.
I get this specific ailment when my body is telling me to stop. They're like, all right, you're not going to stop on your own. You're on 5 espresso martinis, stay up all night, no sleep mode. And then it makes me have this specific sickness.
What is that?
It's like some weird sinus thing where like I just start feeling it deep in my brain.
Yeah.
And it just like put me down basically. I mean, I still was able to like fully maximize and have a great weekend, but like it sucked to not feel 100%.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Has it ever happened to you?
Well, I'm trying to think. What one thing that I notice after really getting after it for a couple nights in a row is that my skin goes to shit. I don't like break out necessarily, but I get kind of blotchy and puffy, and I look like hell, and I feel like I'm wearing a dead man's skin.
Right. So dude, it's funny you say that. I did Matt Friend's show. You know Matt,
Yeah.
right? did his show the night after.
Brilliant.
Really good impressionist.
Yeah.
But dude, so they took a photo of me where I look terrible.
Oh.
And it was like it was the night after. I'm gonna show you. I saw it and I was like, Jesus, dude, you look rough. That is such a bad photo.
This is no insult to Big G. This is the closest I've ever seen you looking like your dad.
Well, that's no knock on my dad. Like,
it's not.
Me looking like my dad is not the problem. My skin just looks terrible. I look so like hungover.
You just look older. You look older there.
Yeah,
that's all I mean about the Big G thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm very much like bad photos of myself don't bother me. Like even if I see somebody post a bad photo of me, I'll still retweet it, bro.
Yeah.
I'll repost it. It's empowering.
I don't mind it. I don't mind bad photos at all. And I find that so relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not worried you're not worried about one slipping through that didn't get your vote of confidence.
Yeah, totally. But anyway, yeah, so like, and it's one thing that's interesting about performing stand up. In a way, if you're performing sick or like not 100%, like it actually gives you a little break from being sick, because while you're performing, you're just like not sick. Like the adrenaline of performing, as minor as it might be with all the shows that we've done, like for that hour, I like felt completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which is such an interesting thing.
So allow me to do a moment of what we did at Fort Charles, which is to say that I watched Julio's set last night at the Stand and really enjoyed it.
Really?
I really enjoyed it.
I didn't feel that like that sharp last night, so it's nice of you to say that.
You have some new stuff that I hadn't heard a lot.
Yeah.
Almost all of it.
Oh, really?
Which clearly you're just churning shit out because you're on the road so much.
Trying, man.
The stuff I don't want to give anything away.
You can.
The shower
you like
stuff
the shower bit? Thank you.
is unbelievable.
Thank you.
And I was just sitting there being like, yeah, why haven't people done this? You know what I mean?
Thanks,
like
man.
that feeling.
Thank you.
Why haven't people talked about this in comedy? So if you get the chance, Julio is on the road all the time. You guys should absolutely go see him. He's
I'm in Chicago this weekend, Saturday night.
A master of
Thank
the
you,
art
man.
form. Go to the Den
It's very
Theater.
nice of you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And go to notjulio.com to get tickets.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Very cool, man. So, and by the way, what a relief to really like my podcast co-host's comedy. Do you know what I mean? Like if one of us quietly sucked at it, it'd be weird.
This is what I'll say. I think it would be weirder if you thought I sucked. I think that would be the weird thing. Like I think that like I could completely get over me not thinking you were funny. I do think you're funny. I really do, and I mean that.
I think I could get over it too, but I always knew you were good. But man, to just like really enjoy your partner's comedy.
That's very nice.
It's like I don't know how to describe it.
It is a nice thing. I agree, and I remember like when we were kind of toying with the idea of doing the pod initially. I remember having that thought. Being like, oh, this isn't like a force at all. Like, I think Francis is funny.
Yeah.
I like his brand of comedy. I like especially the stuff that's like only jokes that you could have told. I'm like, that's nice to be able to do that, you know?
I've really been sort of trying to find a new story to start working on.
Oh, like for just new bits?
Yeah, but not a ton has been happening in my life except...
Oh, here we go.
Guess what we're getting on Sunday?
Big announcement.
Big announcement.
Meow, meow, meow.
We are adding a new dog to our lives.
Unreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How about that?
You excited?
We are very excited. We are like kids on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We're looking at each other when we start smiling and we're like,
That's
five
really
more days.
fun.
Five more days till we pick her up.
So what's the deal with her?
So we're getting an English setter. I have to
Google that.
I can't say that I don't think it's a super well-known breed, to be honest with you. But we made this decision to get a dog. Kojai is the love of our lives. He's 10. And we think it would be great if he could show a new puppy the ropes. With that said, it certainly is in my mind that go to the one of the white ones in the middle. That one, perfect. The one you had. No, the one to the right. Yeah, that's what they're gonna look like.
So how big is that dog?
I think the girls get to be like 45 pounds.
Oh, wow.
50. They're not small, but they're not, like friggin' Great Danes or anything like that.
Is there any conventional wisdom on like how to get two dogs who are kind of cohabitating to get along?
Dude, Sierra's been making me listen to this Cesar Millan book.
About that?
She just puts it on when we're in the living room, even without me wanting to listen
so
to it.
Sinks in.
It's dog theory.
Wow.
It's very, it's homework.
Yeah.
But it's like the science that he has behind how you introduce a new dog to your dog, and it's like, it sounds like introducing, if you're a Russian czar and you have a daughter that you want to marry, the son of the Austro-Hungarian Empire to like create a power balance or something like that. Right. The sort of the dance of all of that.
Right.
We're supposed to bring Kojai outside so that the new dog can meet him on neutral terms.
Oh wow.
And not bring the dog into the house. But dude, it is endless.
Crazy.
The sort of the protocols for all of this. But we really care about having a well-behaved dog.
Of course, yeah.
And it means I'm going to have to not be able to play with it the way that I want to for a while.
So are you guys like sending it to like doggy boarding school?
No, we're going to kind of own it ourselves.
Cool.
We're going to own the teaching of it. But, I like to get on the ground and roll around and wrestle with the dogs.
Uh-huh.
But I can't do that with a puppy because it'll confuse it.
Got it.
And I can't let it chew on my fingers, even though that's probably my favorite thing.
That's going to be tough.
That's my favorite thing, is to have the doggy little dog teeth chewing on my on my fingers. It's my favorite.
So how small is the puppy? It's probably so cute.
It's like 9 weeks right now.
Oh, loud.
And big floppy ears and cute face. We have some pictures, but I just want to introduce you guys to it when we get her.
Do you know what you're going to name her? Or does she already
We
have
have a couple thoughts, but I don't know that we've settled, so I'm not going to. I'll once we officially have her, I think we have to try a few on for size.
How does that work? Like, does she have a like sort of interim name at the moment?
She may.
Yeah.
She may. The breeder's not foisting that on stuff.
Got it.
I'll tell you what I really like, right?
Are they as good as your childhood names, or?
They're a little more they're a little more worldly.
Oh, nice.
A little more mature.
David?
Yeah. By the way, have I told you the story of the stuffed animals we got from Busch Gardens?
I think so, but it's really funny and I want to hear it again.
We went to Busch Gardens when I was a kid in Florida, and they had two marquee attractions, the white Siberian tiger and the orange tiger. And then, of course, they sold stuffed animals based on those two animals in the gift shop. And my sister bought the white, and I bought the orange. And she named the white one Bushy, after Busch Gardens.
Well done.
And I named mine Busch Garden Guy.
You're one of the great namers, dude.
It's so
funny.
It's
Busch Garden Guy.
It is so literal. I mean, it is full blown.
Dude, it's so funny.
I'm naming it what it's like I read it on the fucking name tag.
That is so funny.
All right, so the name that I like right now for our new puppy is Rhubarb.
That's good.
Ruby?
What we would call a Ruby for short.
Very cute.
Yeah.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
Ruby's nice, right? But Sierra doesn't want the origin to be rhubarb. She thinks that's absurd.
I like it.
She likes Ruby a lot, but only Ruby.
It's best of both worlds.
I like rhubarb because I like rhubarb pie.
And no one will ever call her rhubarb unless you're at the vet.
I'm going to call her rhubarb to annoy Sierra. And then she makes the point that rhubarb is poisonous to dogs, which I think she actually looked up to try to prevent us from naming the dog Rhubarb. But I am going to call it Rhubarb in my spare time.
That's really funny.
Yeah. So we're getting the dog. And dude, let me tell you something. The process of acquiring a dog, especially one that is beloved in sort of a niche category and is not as easy to find as, say,
this
a
is probably expensive,
Labrador.
Right? Sorta.
I mean, it's not in like the top 10 most expensive dog breeds.
Okay.
there are some that get up to like 10 grand.
Jesus.
I think Frenchies are really expensive
I think
too.
so too, yeah.
But it's not as bad as that.
Okay.
But there's a big range for them. And I think we're getting one that's like on the more expensive side of it. And all of that comes from the crazy list of accolades that this breeder has won from showing the sire and the dam, the mom and the father from which she breeds.
Is that the name of dogs that you breed from? Got
yeah. This was all new to me, but like, dude, you go on her website. First of all these breeders have the most unadvanced websites
I know,
you've ever seen. But that's a good sign. I've learned, it seems, you're trying to avoid these puppy mills.
Right.
Where they're just churning them out and they're breeding with like incest, and you get dogs that have a lot of health problems, hip dysplasia, things like this, deafness, whatever, and you have to screen for it. And breeding is a huge art, or it's a science rather, and you want, some family in Vermont that has these beautiful dogs and does like 1 litter a year or every 2 years or whatever, and is very careful about pairing the puppies with the families. So we spoke to a lot of different breeders, some in California, Oregon, and one thing that stood out to me was that some breeders were like really, really keen to learn about us, to be very careful about making sure we were the right fit for the puppy.
Oh, interesting.
And then some were just like, yeah, just come out here and get it. That's the price. And that was a bad sign.
Right. You liked the vetting process.
Yeah, you want to know that because like one woman was like, we have this lifetime policy where if at any point you decide you don't want the dog anymore, you have to give it back to us, and we will take it. Like we will rear it. We will raise it for the rest of its life.
Wow.
She said she'd given a dog to someone in Australia and found out that it was not a good situation. She flew over there, bought it back, had to have it boarded in like Atlanta and shipped back, and cost her $18,000 of her own money.
Oh my God.
All this crazy stuff. But
that's nice.
Yeah. Then the other thing is, they send you photos all the time, and that's kind of fun. But this dog in particular it's known as it's a retrieving dog. It's a hunting dog, a bird hunting dog.
Oh, nice.
And so you can teach it to point
bird dog.
And flush. Yeah. Shout out bird dog. I'll probably wear some bird dog pants while I hunt. But I'm not a hunter. But flush the birds, pheasants, and then retrieve them after you shoot them dead out of the sky. And so I think that's cool, but I don't think I can kill a bird. I'm sorry, I'm just too much of a bitch. And so we're gonna take it hiking and stuff like that. But then it's also incredibly calm in an apartment or in a small place, and can be inside.
Phenomenal.
Really good with family and stuff.
Good to explore all those different things too, the variables.
And you read about
you don't
all
want
these
a dog
breeds.
to eat your fucking couch because he's been walked enough, you know what I mean? Like a husky.
Right. And that was why we moved away from an Irish setter, because they require so much more exercise. Mm-hmm. So finally this one breeder we were talking to was really emphasizing how good they are with families, with kids. And she's got young kids. And so she started sending us pictures of the dogs. And then she started sending us pictures of the dogs like licking her young kids' faces. And then she started just sending us pictures of the kids, which was weird. I was like, wait a second. What? Are you giving them away? What? I don't want your fucking son. What the fuck is this? Why are you? I'm not proud of your kids. I don't care what they are doing. What? Why? Don't give me family portraits.
That's amazing, dude.
So
that's really funny.
You get to know these breeders. We had to really, really interview and prove our worth to this family.
That's great.
And it was all Sierra. I mean, she talked to her for like hours on the phone. And there was a long waiting list, but based on Sierra's incredible charm and, her viability as a dog mom, she said she called us on Saturday as we were like, in bed, basically getting up, and was like, I've got some good news, I think I have a puppy for you. And like Sierra started crying.
Oh my God.
And it was just fucking epic, dude. It was a great moment. And so we're going to drive up there, and it's in northwest Connecticut, and we're going to get our puppy on
That is
Sunday.
so fun, man.
Oh my
Where?
God.
Northwest Connecticut,
Just
it doesn't matter.
I do know the name, and now I can't remember it. I'll find it for you.
Right. Beautiful area. The drive will be nice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Even though we're toward the end of the foliage. You
Yeah.
happen to miss the peak foliage, man.
Fuck my
Both
life,
ends of
dude.
it.
Fuck that shit.
So funny.
Fucking foliage.
Well, dude, congratulations, man. That's
Thanks.
really great. Really great news.
Yeah, you guys will meet Ruby, if that's what we end up naming her. Rhubarb.
Very exciting. I had like a nice fall activity unfold as well. So we were in Michigan. I have a lot of friends from Michigan. So first of all, Brent is part of the reason why. Like Brent, who I met in college, he was across the hall from me. Classic. He'd kind of like walk around in his robe, and dude, it was so funny. And like he'd come in my room, like this guy I was roommates with was in his finance class. He'd be like, "Hey, Jamie, you got the homework for the?" He'd like want to talk about like the finance homework. And me and him would just end up being like the last people awake on the floor every night, and we just like play cards and dick around, and we just became really good friends. So he'd like recruit me to come out to Michigan. This is one of like the great things about him as a friend is he likes to like introduce his friends to each other. So I have this like whole web of like Michigan friends now. A lot of them came to the show. Thank you guys for coming. The show was amazing, by the way. And on Sunday, we all went over Brent's friend, but our friend Michael's house for like a brunch. And they had this whole thing. As Brent would say, they're going to have a great spread. Great spread. But we get over there, man. There's this like whole thing, and it's like a bunch of young people. And like some of them, Michael and he has a family, like his kids, and like a couple of people there with their kids. But then there's like me and Brent and like a couple other people. And just like a nice gathering of friends just hanging out at this sort of like low stakes, easy brunch. And it was like the most chill fucking afternoon, dude.
It's nice.
And I just saw the wheels turning in Hill Dog's brain of like, isn't this nice?
Yeah.
And she's right. It is.
It is.
And it's like, I of course would like that. And she's not like by any means pushing for us to like buy a house and move to the suburbs.
Oh, that is what I thought it was just as basic as a brunch in a home.
It was, but it hits different when you're in a big house and you're
fireplace.
And dude, so cozy, so
God,
chill.
yeah.
Like everything's just so easy. And it's like the amount of money you spend in New York to live in 1,000 square feet, like how far that goes in most of the world,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's pretty like insane comparison.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're kind of just like talking about that. She in no way is like, let's do it. But like, she was right. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, man. And then I start thinking, I'm like, how successful would I have to be in order for this to be a realistic thing that I could be doing?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is very. Just in terms of like taking myself out of the mix. Yeah. The mix is so important as a comedian and the stage I feel that I'm at in my career. Yeah. And, in order to get to that point in your career where you can kind of Chappelle it and live in the middle of Ohio, you have to, and you don't have to be that big, but even like a Nate Bargatze who like lives in Nashville, or to live in like a smaller market, like you have to hit a very high level of success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm
sure you think about this.
I do. Yeah. I feel a bit handcuffed to New York City. So I choose to enjoy it. I choose to look at it as a place that I really like. And whether I actually believe that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So sure.
I don't know how. I mean, going to Maine in fucking quarantine was like a deeply shaking experience. It shook my belief system because of how much I liked being in the woods, fresh air, green, all that shit. It bothered me.
Yeah.
And I just have tucked that memory and thought deep back into my subconscious because I don't have time. I don't have time to reckon with it.
Yeah.
Right now, I just convince myself that I have to be here, and therefore, how great is it to have such a plethora of restaurant options, to have your friends so nearby?
Totally.
All of these things.
It's vibrant, keeps you young. There's all great things about it. But it reminded me, this whole thought process just reminded me about the conversation we had about like the $70,000 thing, about like beyond, like up, if you get to $70,000 versus like, and let's not use that specific number. There's some study about like above, $100,000 a year. I'm sure where you live matters, whatever. It's hard to like have money make you happier.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about the specifics of that, and it started to like make more sense. So specifically, okay, so I'm making more money the last couple of years than I have been in the past, right? But like now my sort of lifestyle has leveled up a bit too, right? So even at what point do you have like an abundance of money that isn't now just going towards the next stage of like living? So it's like, oh, you have all this more money now. Guess what? Your kids are going to private school now.
Yeah.
There's 40 grand a year or whatever, however much that fucking costs.
Dude, I don't know if it ever
Ends.
meets.
I don't know.
Unless you just somehow hit an absolute grand slam and have a check, like go from 1 year making X to the next year multiplying that such that your lifestyle hasn't changed so much in such a short period of time.
Right. And the thing that's so funny about it too is like the guys who achieve that, and I know, I'm not about to speak for every rich man in the world, but like they either give all their fucking money away, which is like eye-opening, or it's still not enough for them.
Yeah.
And they're still cheating the tax codes. They can buy 7 Lamborghinis or whatever.
And they're bothered by the taxes.
Right,
yeah.
right. And it's like, wow, like what a mind fuck money is.
I know, man.
It's crazy.
You made an interesting point. I'm thinking about what time in my life did I feel like, oh my God, I have more money than I know what to do with. And I think it was like when I probably started, I remember I worked at a canoe and kayak rental place one summer.
I remember, I know
which
about
I think
this.
I've told you
I
about.
played piano as well.
Yeah, I got and that
Nice,
summer
yes.
I was making like $7.50 an hour.
What?
$7.50 an hour. Not 700. I'm not a fucking white collar lawyer. A spine surgeon here, Chris. At 16. No, but I was making $7.50 an hour, and the theory was that some of these people would tip, but they didn't because it was free for them to use the kayaks and rentals. So like they didn't think whatever. So it was making nothing, and then all of a sudden I met this kid who brought me to this really fancy hotel that was nearby, and I sat down and played the piano. I've told this story, and I went from making $7.50 an hour to I think $100 an hour, 50 or something.
Right.
What did
I think 50 sounds right.
50 was, I think it was 50. I would do multiple hours.
Yeah.
And I still kept the canoe and kayak job, but all of a sudden it was as if I was adding like 5 more days to my week.
Yeah, and that all goes straight to the discretionary spending budget.
Yeah.
There's no overhead, there's no expenses. You just buy CDs.
Toys. Just buying toys, lots of toys. You know, who gives a shit?
Totally.
Fucking awesome at that age. That was the age.
You know what it was for me? It was the beginning of the pandemic because I still wasn't paying rent. And I just suddenly had this huge cash windfall of all these commercials and shit happening.
Oh, it's nice.
So like I had money coming in during the pandemic, and like my lifestyle not only did it not change, it like took a couple steps backward because you couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So like I was crushing it for a second. I was like, this is sick. That all quickly ended, but it was sweet.
Yeah.
Who knows, dude?
You gotta get, it's weird, dude. I know we talk about spending a lot, but I have cut back on my spending so dramatically over the last 2 months since we got back from our honeymoon. And it's because I've realized I know that there are gigantically expensive things barreling towards us. Whether it's all this dog shit, but you just get to a point where you finally do realize that if things are quiet now and you have some extra money, it's not going to last.
Right. Don't act like
something bad's coming.
Something's coming, yeah.
Somebody's coming for you. Or something shiny's coming.
Somebody's coming.
You're going to want something. Like, I can't even go to Soho anymore. Because to walk by the Moncler store, like I can't. I refuse to even get off the train in that neighborhood.
Keep Francis out of the Moncler store, man. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I feel you. Okay. Side note, this is kind of funny. So Hillary was also not feeling well over the weekend, like completely different thing. She had like a stomach thing that was like intense for a short period of time, whatever. So it was unclear if Hillary was even going to come to the show. And I had a couple openers, and one of them was asking about her. And I mentioned, I'm like, oh, like she has a little bit of a stomach thing. And she goes, she must be really skinny then. She's like, skinny girls are always the ones that have stomach problems. Like joking around. I think that's sort of like a viral thought.
Oh,
that's
really?
Going around this idea
what
that
an odd
the hottest people have the
thing.
worst stomachs. Whatever. So I then wanted to defend Hillary, but it came out in this way where I was like, I was like, oh, she's not that skinny. Don't worry. I'm like, I cannot believe I just said that out loud.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She of course is skinny, but like an insane defending your girlfriend by saying she's not skinny.
Yeah.
I can't, like, that would almost be a riddle. Give a scenario in which you could say your girlfriend isn't skinny that would be defending her.
Oh my God. I just don't know. I don't know how you can answer that question. That's too hard.
Yeah, dude. I know.
She must be really skinny to have all these stomach problems. No, she has a perfectly healthy appetite. People just get sick sometimes. That's like a kindergarten teacher answering it. I don't know.
Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice to have her on the road. I've never brought her on like a quote road weekend. That's like a conventional road weekend in that I'm staying in a hotel. I have my little, and I realize I have a little bit of a routine.
Oh.
Do you have a?
I do, but it's changed a lot.
Uh-huh.
I haven't actually been on the road in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to hear yours.
I don't know. Mine's pretty basic, but like typically I like to try to get a little bit of a nap-ish sort of event in the day of the show in the afternoon, whether it be before the show or earlier in the afternoon if we have activities or whatever. And then that's pretty much it. That's the entire routine. Then I go to the club.
That's not a routine.
I like to bring a Bluetooth speaker. I like to try to get there a little bit early, settle in, hang out, play some music, chill, and then do the show, and that's it. That's my entire routine.
That's cool.
That's a routine.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's a routine.
It's a loose routine.
I like to do. I try to do one thing that's explorative.
Oh, cool.
Whether it's in going to a historic site, a little bit like you, probably more veering towards museums though than national parks. I try to eat at basically the best restaurant in the entire city.
That's a good move.
Because I just don't want to eat shit. And these places I'm going to, a lot of the time, the best restaurant is not a super expensive place.
It's not like insane.
It's like a family-owned Greek place.
Nice, right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm going to small towns, small markets and stuff. The most expensive restaurant in Syracuse is not.
It's not that expensive.
Well, it's not like New York or Chicago or something like that. I'm buckling up for it.
Right, right.
So yeah, I do that, and I go early. I go at 5 because we got to be at the club by 7.
Get a reservation anywhere.
Yeah, I just go up, sit alone, sit at the counter, see what's going on. People watch. I work out in the hotel gym, and I just try to be outside.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just live in your dark, air-conditioned Holiday Inn hotel room all day.
So it's funny. People, I find that I might be making assumptions, but I think that sometimes people like to bring me on the road because they know, like before I was doing my own shows, like people would bring me because they would know that if they brought me, there was a 0% chance of that happening.
Yeah.
And even if they were insistent on that's the day they want to have, certain people that I've opened for sort of famously don't like going out a ton. And I'm down to sit on the couch and watch 7 episodes of Breaking Bad. Like, I'll do whatever you want. It's your weekend. But if they're like, what should we do? They know that I'm going to be like, oh, let's do this. Chris has seen me in action. Yeah, funny you should ask.
Holds out a map with like tourist attractions.
But it's fun for me too, because the thing that I typically want to do a lot of the time will be a little random. So a person who's like down to do something but doesn't know what to do, I'm potentially a good addition to that.
Totally.
I've also noticed, and can you guys give me some background into this? People love it when I'm drinking.
Yeah.
When they see that I'm drinking, they are so excited, and it makes me wonder, like, am I just unbearable sober or something?
No, you're just a great drinker.
I'm a good hang.
You're just, there's never
you're very disarming.
alcohol.
It
doesn't send you in the wrong direction, as far as I've seen.
I don't think so.
Ever.
No.
Whereas it's not always a guarantee that booze is going to make me happier.
Yeah, but does it ever make you like shittier to be around?
Not really. It can make me quieter and withdrawn and sort of.
It speeds up your timeline.
It might. I'm tired for
Right.
sure.
Right.
And then I just don't talk much. And then people, because I'm a pretty garrulous person normally, people realize like, wow, he's not talking. you
Right.
know?
Right.
What's wrong? And then it's like, I just need to go home. And then people are like, well, come on, we'll stay for one more drink. Thinking that that's going to
Right.
solve it. It's like, you've just made it 10 times worse.
Well, it's funny you mention that because after my show, I like normally am down to like have a night. But in this, I was a little tired. I was still open to it. And especially because like I had a big chunk of friends who came and like I wanted to hang out with them, of course. But to like all be at a place in our lives now where they were all tired and wanted to leave, I was like, what a godsend.
It's great.
Like
Nothing makes me happier than finding out that the people I'm hanging out with are
Yeah.
tired.
And my show was early. By the way, shout out Blind Pig in Ann Arbor. What a great venue. Amazing turnout, dude. Like one of the biggest turnouts I've had for a one-nighter,
Oh,
I think.
hell
Like,
yeah,
it was
dude.
sick. We crushed it. And you know, it's nice to take that gamble when you arrange shows in a certain way. There's a way that you can do it where like as long as you're selling tickets, it makes sense to do fewer shows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're not sure you're going to. So thank you. It was unclear to me that like we were going to crush it in Ann Arbor. And shout out to JQ, one of her openers. She had a bunch of people, or one of my openers had a bunch of people come.
That's really nice.
But also just like the Oops squad showed up in troves too. So it was nice to see all you guys there. So dude, on the flight there, I had the like good plane Wi-Fi. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like $5 and you can stream.
Oh.
It's not just like the free message pass or $20 for the whole flight bullshit.
Yeah.
This is like full stream. So like I got really obsessed with this one particular Spanish language music video. Hillary always gives me shit for saying Spanish music. She'll be like, these people are from Puerto Rico. That's wrong. I'm like, okay, fine, but you know what I mean. She's like, it's Spanish language music.
Wait.
So now
hold
we
on a
joke
second.
Spanish language music.
What? I don't know. I don't know about this.
So for example, Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, right?
And he's not singing in Spanish?
He's singing in Spanish, but she's saying that if by saying Spanish music, I'm making it sound like he is Spanish.
From Spain.
From Spain. I don't mean it that way. And I don't think it's that high stakes of a thing, but she's a corrector. So like if I'm saying something wrong, she's going to tell me.
And Spanish language is the all-encompassing term for countries that speak Spanish.
Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
She's not, this isn't like a big deal. She's not like, but we joke now. We're like Spanish language music.
I like that.
Spanish
yeah.
language music. So anyway, I was watching this same music video over and over and over again. I was actually just showing Chris at the beginning of recording and Ryan. And it's this guy, his name's Anuel AA. He's Puerto Rican kind of like trap artist, reggaeton.
That's not the guy you dressed up with.
That is the guy who I dressed up
That's what I thought.
for Halloween. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. So anyway, I have to explain that, especially when I was in costume. I had to. Who are you? Are you Bad Bunny? No, I'm this guy. Look, let me Google it real quick. This was a good idea. So anyway, I'm watching his music video on repeat, and he's kind of just like he's driving this like Mercedes truck, and he keeps looking at the side and like gesturing and like making rapper gestures, like pointing at his head, doing the hand thing. And I'm watching the video, and I guess without like realizing it, just doing this. I'm doing the finger thing, and Hillary's like, "Can you please stop? This is really embarrassing." I'm like, honestly, like, no, I'm gonna continue doing it. So then for the rest of the flight, I was just going, I don't know. It was probably embarrassing, but it was a good moment.
Dude, that's fantastic.
And I'm glad.
And let me tell you something. On the corner of my street, so 100 yards from the exit of my building where I live, there were 4 guys filming a rap music video.
Oh, sick.
And they clearly weren't big time because they had one guy filming them with what was little better than like an old digital camera.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was probably like a DSLR or something, but it wasn't.
Right. There's no dolly.
There wasn't a stabilized. He's just holding it in his hands.
No glide cam. Yeah.
Going like
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah. With the thing that.
And they're like arced around it, being very demonstrative, and they had their car parked, and they had the trunk open, and they were playing the music from the car so that they could lip sync in the proper time with
Gotta do it.
the song.
Gotta do it.
And people were walking by with, golden retrievers and stuff. And we're like walking in and out of the music video. Like I walked by with Kojai, and I'm like, do they want us in this?
Do I need to sign a waiver?
This isn't that hard.
Yeah.
That we're showing that they're in like this family neighborhood.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like but they were being very hard. They were going hard. I don't know. I thought it was very funny, and they were at it for a while, and I couldn't imagine why they had chosen that spot for their music video.
They hopefully they shot it at like a few different locations and won't use that piece. But if you see Francis in a rap video, please send it along.
Yeah.
We would love to see it.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, well, dude, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Before we wrap it up, some facts with Ryan, if we got them.
We got a couple today.
Right.
The World Health Organization says that we should have no more than 2 standard espresso martinis regularly, or at least no more than 4 in a 24-hour period.
Okay.
So
All right.
we're in the clear.
You're
Did
reading
you make
that
that up so it
for
fits
your own-
your?
No.
Yeah.
That was like Sierra
feels kinda
researching
perfect.
rhubarb, dude.
Mhm,
That's what was
mhm.
going on there.
Yeah, you've read that your own way.
Rarest dog breed, the Norwegian Lundhund.
Hound.
Lundhund. And the most expensive dog breed is the Tibetan Mastiff.
Ah,
Huh.
makes sense. That's a big boy.
Wait, what was the first one was what?
The Norwegian Lund.
Is that the cheapest?
That's the rarest.
H-U-N-D?
The
It's
rarest.
the rarest dog breed.
Ah.
H-U-N-D?
Yes,
Hound.
Lundhund. And the most expensive is the Tibetan Mastiff.
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 Jesus
Yeah, and those are
Christ,
huge. Doing my best.
All right, thanks, buddy. Dogs are not his thing. apparently.
Dogs. A Mastiff is a very common breed, but no, I'm not going to give you shit. Do you not have dogs, your fam?
I had a Karen Terrier.
Oh, nice.
You say
That's cool.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
A Karen Terrier?
Yeah, is that wrong?
Is it called a Karen Terrier?
Yeah.
Karen?
Yeah, it starts with a C. I pronounce words
No,
incorrectly
no.
sometimes, but I'm going to say it
I'm
with
not
confidence.
saying that's wrong.
And
I'm saying I'm
Ryan,
sure
no
that's
one's
right.
questioning you, bro.
I just hadn't heard of it, and I didn't know there was such a thing as a Karen Terrier. I'm picturing a dog that has sort of poofy braids and goes into like bodegas and asks for the manager.
No, the Karen Terrier was the dog from The Wizard of Oz. That type
Got
of
I
it.
see.
Got
tiny
it.
little Karen
I
Terrier.
Got
see.
it.
I
Very
see.
cute.
Yeah.
Excellent. Guys, come to see me Saturday night if there are tickets left at the Den Theater in Chicago. We're going to have Matt Friend and Ted Jones in the mix. It's going to be a big night.
Hell yeah.
Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really special show. Please come.
Cool. My tour is we're adding stuff, guys. We just added Nashville. We've added Atlanta. It's building out, so I'll start putting those dates up soon. Just get excited about it, okay? I have a couple dates on my website already, but we're going to really brand it and sell the hell out of this. So hope to see you guys there. That's in the new year. FrancisEllis.com. And thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.